Hello everyone, it's Dr. Sigmon here. We're headed into week number 7. So we only have this week and next week left in the course. There are a few more subjects that we need to cover, and let's get going with that. So this week we will be covering animal evolution and diversity and also population ecology. Two very interesting subjects. Of course, everybody loves animals, so we're going to talk about animals and all different groups of them, but also population ecology. And population ecology affects you in your everyday life. For example, the Department of Natural Resources in your area does counts of deer and wildlife and all different sorts, turkeys and eagles and so many different animals, but also plants, to figure out what the population is like at any given time so that they can determine what needs to be done, what are going to be the hunting regulations for the next year. I also did population ecology when I did mosquito control. All summer long, several of us would go out every single day and count the population of mosquitoes in different areas in the county to determine where the most mosquitoes were found and then where we would send out the spray trucks. So this affects you in your everyday life. So what do you need to do this week? You need to read chapters 15 and 16, which are pretty easy reads this week. We moved out of the genetics and some of the evolution and into more descriptions. So the reading is easier this week. There's not so much terminology. There is some, but there's not so much. You also need to watch the video. It's an introductory video. I suggest that you just listen to it. There are slides in it that go by so fast that there's no way that you can read them. So just listen to it as an introduction to the topic this week. The discussion board postings this week are a little bit different. The timetable is the same. Sunday night, your initial post is due. Tuesday night, your 2 response posts are due. But the difference is that this week you are going to choose one unique animal, and that means you and only you will be discussing this one animal. You will tell me and all of us about the reproductive characteristics and the reproductive success of this one unique animal. And there's a whole list of pieces of information that you need to cover in your discussion post. Make sure you read the guidelines under the discussion post so you know what you need to include. Well, how do you make sure that you choose a unique animal? That means that you have to look at the other posts before you do your research and write up your information. If you repeat someone else's animals, you will not get credit for the discussion post. That's the way that it works this week. Your response posts need to be where you tell the other person, whoever's post you're responding to, what you've learned from their information, and you'll also talk about survivorship curves. That means that you need to know what the 3 different survivorship curves are and which one pertains to this particular animal. So look that up, and I believe that's in chapter 16. Your writing assignment this week is due on Tuesday night, of course, as always. And what you're going to do here is choose one animal phylum. So I give you an example here, the phylum Mollusca, the mollusks. And what you would do once you choose your particular phylum is, first of all, write about the similarities of all the animals in this phylum. What do they all have in common? What are their characteristics? Do they have bilateral symmetry? Do they have brains? How do they feed? How do they reproduce? There's so many characteristics that they may have in common. So what are their similarities? Also then, what are their differences? And these are descriptions. These are not lists. Describe the differences between the members of the phylum. Are there differences in size? Are there differences in life cycle, reproductive cycle, body plans, So those are just a few of the differences that there may be. And then you also need to discuss the economic impact of these animals on the world. So, for example, in the phylum Mollusca, we have oysters. Oysters are important food sources for other animals, but also human beings. Oysters are an important food source. So, of course, this is an economic crop or animal for human beings. We harvest oysters, we sell oysters, we eat oysters. So there is an economic impact of oysters on the human population. And you also need to cover what are the ecological impacts of these animals on the world. How does this particular group of animals fit into ecosystems around the world? Are they food sources? Are they prey animals? Do they eat something in particular that keeps an ecosystem in balance? There are lots of issues that have to do with the ecology. So discuss the ecological impact of these animals on the world too. And then finally, take your week 7 quiz. Now there have been a few issues with the quizzes, so if you have issues with any of the questions, all you need to do is let me know. And if there is a problem, I can see what answer you've chosen. If there is a problem, all you have to do is let me know. And I've had to go in and change some grades, so let me know if you're having any issues with these quizzes. As always, I'm here to help you. So if you need help, let me know. Ask questions. I'm here for you. One thing that I want to mention is that I won't have office hours this coming Sunday night because I will be out of town Saturday, Sunday, Monday. But I thought that I would have my office hours next Tuesday, which might be actually a good thing for you because that's the day that writing assignments are due. So instead of Sunday night, I'm going to have office hours on Tuesday night of this coming week. So I wanted to let you know that. If you need to get in touch with me, you know how to do that. Email jsigmon@grantham.edu. And I've listed that everywhere. So just get in touch with me. I'll be glad to talk with you, advise you, clarify things for you, or fix something for you. Just let me know. Other than that, have a wonderful week.